I buy plants as a coping mechanism, and since the pandemic has started, the number of plants in my apartment has increased astronomically. But what started as a way to distract myself from the pandemic has turned into a healthy way to focus my energy on caring for another living thing. Especially with the current news cycle, I found myself stepping away from my screen to do simple concrete things like watering my plants or even just looking at them. It's been a great addition to my routine, and as a bonus, it really beautifies my workspace. I really want to start expanding my plant routine, but while some of my plants are thriving, others aren't doing so well. This thing used to have like 20 leaves. So I reached out to my good friend / expert plant parent Ellen Airhart to ask about her daily plant ritual and what continues to motivate her to grow her indoor garden.
I work from home even before the pandemic, and I like to spend time watering my plants. I like to spend time just looking at them, seeing if they're getting wilty or sad at all. So much is happening over a screen. Plants are something that's beautiful in the physical world that you can still interact with. I can't hug Nikki, but the plants are like a sad substitute. So you can see I have this beautiful snake plant that I got on Clement Street in San Francisco.
Oh, throwback, we used to be neighbors there.
Yeah. Here I have a very popular plant, my monstera. In this terrarium, I have a nerve plant, a photonia. My favorite plant right now is my Sarracena hybrid that I got from the Berkeley Botanical Gardens.
Go Bears!
Also, I have up here my steel cross begonia. It's a Marimo algae ball. This is a spice rack from IKEA.
You gifted me the same one. I have it hanging in the window on the wall. It's great for someone like me who lives in a tiny, tiny apartment.
You can fill the spice things with water, and they work really well as little propagation stations. A lot of plants, you can just stick them in water and they'll grow roots.
They're beautiful and they look very well taken care of. My plants don't look that great. Maybe you can help me with that later.
When you're choosing plants for outside, you are constrained by how much it rains where you live, how sunny it is. But houseplants, you control the humidity in your house and you control how much water they get. And you control how much light they get to a degree if you use things like plant lights. So you have more flexibility in the kind of plants that you can choose to put inside your home, and you don't have to worry about them becoming invasive or bothering the other species outside. There's certain things that make a houseplant easy to take care of, and I recommended some starters like a snake plant, a spider plant, because these are species that do well in low humidity and low light. You're gonna have a hard time killing them. You probably won't have to change anything about the way that you live, and they'll be very happy. That's how I started. And then I started learning about the kind of plants that I have as houseplants and their natural ecology. I started to organize them by the environment that they live in, because some plants like higher humidity and other plants don't. So like if you have a desert plant, you won't want to put it next to this pitcher plant.
The pitcher plant from the UC Berkeley Botanical Gardens, like not only does it require humidity, but it like actually generates its own humidity.
Yeah, which is why it's not always a good idea to put plants next to books or like on bookshelves. As pretty as it is, sometimes they can damage the books because they do create a lot of humidity. I've learned that the hard way. So once you get started and you're looking to move to the next level, I recommend reading about plants, thinking about what you like aesthetically, what you're interested in ecologically. Like I told you, I love these carnivorous plants. I just think they're very cool and beautiful. As I learned more about these plants' natural environments and the places they were native, I kind of wanted to give that to my plants. So I got things like a humidifier, the plant light, things like that. So I knew my plants would thrive. Some of my plants I told you like higher humidity, and so I have this humidifier. I know that we have a lot of humidifier recommendations on Wirecutter. I would recommend checking out those for the specific brand. I think I just got whatever I could pick up at Target. Here also I have my plant light, and I mostly use that for the winter here in San Francisco. It can kind of be foggy for a lot of the time, and so my plants don't always get the sunshine that they need, and so I use it as kind of a supplement light. And then I have my Wirecutter recommended watering can. Depending on where my plants are in the apartment and depending on their needs, they all have different water requirements. So there's this one plant I watch in particular, my zebra plant, and it just wilts if it needs water, very obviously, which is like a cry for help that probably all my plants need attention. And so I water it and it perks right back up, and then I know to water the rest of my plants too.
That sounds like a pretty good system. I don't know, I'm a very type A person, so I have like an app that tells me when to water all my plants, but maybe I should just be more attentive to like what they actually need, not what the internet tells me they need.
What I like is just watching my plants, so if that's something that you like, then that works for you, and if that's not really something that you like, you can have a calendar app or a reminder or something. If I'm bringing a new plant home or something, I'll keep it isolated from the rest of my plants and put some neem on it.
Neem is a natural pesticide that comes from a neem tree. You can buy it to spray on new plants.
Or if I'm bringing a plant from the outside inside, I'll do the same thing.
To prevent pests like spider mites.
I have like a basic fertilizer that I use once a month on most of my plants. Just a seaweed fertilizer. You can just get a basic fertilizer for most of your plants, read specially if they need something specific.
Do you keep them on a schedule, or do you kind of just look at them and see if they're like isn't doing so well?
It can just kind of be looking wilty or sad and you've watered it and you don't really know what's wrong. I stick to a pretty much once a month schedule for most of my plants. During times of change, and this is one of them that we're living through now, it can be nice to have something that you know that you can take care of and that it will probably continue to grow. That's kind of different than work in a way. Like I log on to work every morning, I have my tasks for the day, but plants, it's like, what do you need today?
It gives you something constant. So like every day you're looking at your plants and trying to figure out what they need, but it gives you something a little bit different every day because they might need something different every single day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you work on it and you learn more about them, your plants will get healthier and continue to thrive and get bigger. So you're just looking at something in the real world, taking care of the living being and seeing what it needs.
Will the little shrimps in New York City water harm your plants?
What are you talking about?
Hunter told me that. He's like, you know when you drink New York City tap water, there's little shrimps in it, and so you get protein.
I don't remember that from my time in New York.